The Battle of Iwo Jima is the only battle in World War II where American casualties exceeded Japanese. Many people do not know that, but it ended up having America win because we had so many more soldiers to begin with. Hi, my name is Colby Current, and today I will be telling you about the background of World War II, the invading and fighting at Iwo Jima, the aftermath, and the impact of the battle. First, I will talk to you about how World War II started. In 1933, Adolf Hitler, the Chancellor of Germany, began rearmament, breaking the Treaty of Versailles that was established after World War I. After that, Germany decided to invade Poland, which drew everyone into the war because of various treaties and alliances. America didn't join the war until 4 years later, in 1941, when Pearl Harbor was bombed on December 7th. Pearl Harbor was a military base down in Hawaii that the Japanese surprise bombed and destroyed. The strategies of Iwo Jima were very different. Because Japan was fighting on their home turf, they could just defend and build trenches, while the US had to actually invade the island. Now, because it wasn't a very big island, the Japanese 22,000 men were very concentrated, while the Americans just tried taking everybody out with their initial air attacks and bombings from their ships in the harbor. Now I will tell you about the invading and fighting at Iwo Jima. The Americans thought it was going to be a very easy battle because they just started with aerial bombardment and sent planes flying across and ships shooting bombs into Iwo Jima. And following elaborate preparatory air and naval bombardment, History.com staff states that 3 U.S. Marine divisions landed on the island in February 1945. That means that 3 different groups of troops landed, and in all, over the 3 months of fighting, 110,000 Marines landed on the island to take it over, compared to the 22,000 Japanese. In all, there were 880 ships sent from Hawaii that all went to Iwo Jima to help them capture it. Most of the soldiers during Iwo Jima were teenagers because the draft in America, everybody wanted to go and show that their patriotism, just like several movies that have been made. The only battle that had over 20,000 Japanese die was in Iwo Jima, and they had 22,000 die versus the 26,000 Americans. There was actually a couple soldiers from Japan that didn't surrender until like 2 years after the fighting had ended. They were just hiding out while the Americans were occupying it and sending aerial runs to the main island. Now I will talk to you about the aftermath of the Battle of Iwo Jima. In Iwo Jima, when you combine both sides, there were nearly 50,000 people that died, with hundreds of thousands injured. This is where we get the picture of the famous flag raisers on top of the island, and that has become a national symbol for America. The impact of the Battle of Iwo Jima was greater than any other battle in World War II. When America attacked, they wanted it to provide a place for damaged planes to land and get repaired, but they also wanted them to be able to refuel, because if you had damaged planes while they were flying over Japan, they only had to travel about 10 miles to get back to Iwo Jima, where they could repair, rebuild, and then go right back at them and drop more bombs and attack the main island. Also, it helped Americans learn strategies to use on the main island. When the Americans showed up at Iwo Jima, they were expecting it to be easy, but the American general, Chester Nimitz, ended up having to fight and come up with several strategies on his own to where he would attack the main island, and that he would eventually become the main general in the attack on the mainland. So he used all of those strategies that he learned at Iwo Jima to attack the main island of Japan. This Iwo Jima was considered the greatest storm landing or amphibious assault ever in the history of world wars. It was the first of its kind because we had everybody coming off of the ships, and they had to avoid several submarines so they wouldn't all get destroyed. for the Japanese, when after they got done fighting, it was learned that they had a strategy called the No Man Left Alive. General Kuribayashi came up with that plan, and it basically said that for every Japanese soldier, they had to kill 10 Americans in order for them to be successful. But all of the Japanese soldiers understood and realized that they wouldn't live, and so they all tried to end up killing themselves in order to take out more American soldiers. That is a quote from iwojima.com. In conclusion, Iwo Jima was the bloodiest battle in World War II. It had serious impacts on America and Japan both, and severely diminished our forces. It was a key battle in the American campaign in Japan. After this, of course, occurred after we had already taken over Germany and we were just focusing on the Pacific theater. The Battle of Iwo Jima will always be remembered because of the American patriots who gave their lives for this country. Thank you.